Good evening, dear sisters and brothers. Welcome to the evening session of Being Heartful Every Day with Swadhyaya. As we continue this week with the theme of transmission, today we turn our attention to how transmission supports the inner receptivity, the subtle readiness within us to receive what is already being offered. In heartfulness, transmission is ever present, flowing continuously from the source through the master. Yet its effect in our lives depends greatly on our inner condition, on how open, simple, and receptive we are at the heart. Transmission does not require effort to receive, it requires availability. When the heart is uncomplicated, free from expectation, judgment, or excessive mental activity, it naturally absorbs what is offered. In heartfulness, we are reminded that spiritual progress does not always come from doing more, but from being more receptive. Transmission works most effectively when we are relaxed inwardly, not trying to grasp or direct the experience. And receptivity develops through humility, trust, and regular practice. Over time, the heart learns to recognize subtle shifts, greater calm, reduced inner resistance, and a natural inclination towards balance. Receptivity is not limited to meditation hours. Throughout the day, moments of pause, sincerity, and inner softness allow transmission to continue its work. And when reactions soften, when responses become measured, or when we find ourselves less disturbed by external circumstances, these are the signs that transmission is being absorbed and assimilated. Rather than asking, am I receiving? We are encouraged to observe how life feels lighter, simpler, and more aligned over time. Dear sisters and brothers, as we move ahead, a gentle request to all that do try to share the invitation of the Heartfulness Masterclasses and the BHED sessions with your family and with your friends. You'll find the additional reading material and videos of Revered Taji on this theme, which is available for all of us to access on the Heartfulness app under the Sunday tab dated 25th Jan. You are encouraged to explore this reading material. And now we will resume our inspirational reading, which continues from the chapter Transmission from Heartfulness Way, Book 2. And we are going to resume today from page number 96. As the text is not going to be displayed on the screen, therefore, you are requested to either listen or you can keep your copy with you and you can read slowly from the book itself. Daji, did Lalaji simply rediscover transmission, or is there something more? How is this era different from those ancient times? How did Lalaji use transmission to make this practice more sustainable and consistent? Elizabeth, your questions give me a chance to share something of Lalaji's vision. You know, a saint's worth is not just in their teachings, but in the practical changes they bring about for humanity. Not only did Lalaji revive the ancient practice of transmission, he also developed its utilization to new heights through the tradition of Sahaj Marg, the system of Raja Yoga we know today as the Heartfulness Way. First, Lalaji transmitted in order to mentor and transform his associates, most notably his successor Babuji, along with many others. Second, he developed the method whereby there would be continuation of the transmission moving forward in the succession from one living master to the next. This continues today. With pranahuti, we are referring to transmission from the center itself. That is why pranahuti is associated with the signs of the center and is the signature of the heartfulness way. Having said that, it is not that Lalaji created the flow of the center. It is always there as the flow of divine grace. It is simply that a master of caliber can work with that flow and direct it into our hearts and dose it accordingly to our needs for our growth. That is their mastery. It is like a person with a magnifying glass who can direct the rays from the sun onto a particular object. Humanity now has the opportunity that is afforded by this transmission for evolution. It has taken spirituality into a new era and opened the doors for all who wish to reach the highest goal of human existence in this lifetime. So, the answer to your earlier question of how to select a capable master is simple. Where possible, select one with the capacity to transmit from the highest level. Third, Lalaji created a method to prepare trainers so that they could become conduits for transmission and transmit on behalf of the master. They function as a distribution network like water pipes carrying water from a central water source to every building in a city. A trainer who is connected with the heart of the living master is constantly in touch with the inexhaustible storehouse of the center. And today there are thousands of trainers around the world as the network spreads. Can you appreciate Lalaji's foresight and vision, Elizabeth? Yes, Daji. It gives me goosebumps. We are seeing it unfold in front of our very eyes. You mentioned divine grace. Are transmission and grace the same thing? No, they are not the same, although there is a relationship. Babuji said that what we really need for our ultimate purpose is only divine grace, and this is where the role of the master becomes vital. As we discussed, they direct the flow into our hearts and dose it according to our needs and for our growth through pranahuti. According to Bapuji, divine grace is currently flowing in full force to light the whole world because of the dire need at this time in human history. Could we withstand that full force directly? Being exposed to the divine current itself is not such a easy thing. And the whole chakra system in nature's way of creating a series of buffers or stages so that our hearts are protected from that full force. The heart is so tender and it benefits a lot from the master's loving protection. So his utilization of transmission is very important. Babuji called pranahuti the power of transmission. He said that this power is working through the channel of pure mind and is affected by the power of will. In other words, it requires the mind of the living master and especially their intention. That power is referred to in the last line of a heartfulness prayer. Thou art the only God in power to bring us up to that stage. As divine grace flows into a practitioner through the medium of the Master's transmission, is often called Master's grace. In those very rare cases where practitioners develop the capacity to draw it directly, the Master keeps watch as a safeguard. This utilization of the divine grace through pranahuti is the real function of the Master, and they hold us in their protective care as tenderly as a mother holds a newborn baby. Dear sisters and brothers, with this we have concluded the chapter reading. Let us now turn inward to offer the universal prayer together with heart full of love. All brothers and sisters are being filled with love and devotion, and real faith is growing stronger in them. सभी भाई बहन प्रेम और भक्ति से भर रहे हैं और उनमें सच्ची श्रद्धा दृढ़ होती जा रही है। May this universal prayer ripple through the universe as a tender invocation of unity, love, peace, and brotherhood. Dear sisters and brothers, as you prepare for the rest tonight, take a few moments to offer the bedtime prayer and the reflections of the day. Allow the bedtime prayer to clear subtle restlessness and prepare the heart to receive more deeply during the rest. Dear sisters and brothers, thank you for joining this evening session, and we look forward to seeing you all tomorrow for the morning session at 6 a.m. Until then, wishing you all a very good rest and a good night. Thank you.